Do you feel stuck in your personal growth or constantly held back by self-doubt? Discover how the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi can inspire you to transform your mindset. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful ways to develop a growth mindset, drawing on Musashi's timeless teachings to help you overcome challenges, embrace change, and unlock your full potential. Step 1. Embrace challenges. The first and maybe most important step in building a growth attitude is to be open to new tasks. When we face challenges, they shape us into the people we can be. When things go wrong, a lot of people avoid them, choosing the safety and comfort of what they know. But the famous warrior and philosopher Miyamoto Musashi told us that we shouldn't be afraid of obstacles, but should accept them. They give you chances to learn, grow, and change. Musashi's life was full of obstacles, from the mental strain of planning to the physical strain of swordsmanship. He knew that every task was an opportunity to get better at what he did and learn more about the world. Musashi writes in the book of 5 Rings about how important it is to face problems head-on. He thought that we could only really understand our skills and flaws by facing problems head-on. With a growing attitude, you deal with problems in this way. When you take on obstacles, you stop seeing them as threats and start seeing them as chances. This change in how you think is strong. You can get out of your safe zone and try new things, knowing that even if you fail, you will learn and grow from it. This willingness to take on tasks isn't just about problems that are outside or inside, but also about problems that are inside or outside. You have to face your fears, questions, and worries. For instance, let's say you are given a job at work that you think you can't handle. A growth mindset tells you to take on something instead of avoiding it or giving it to someone else. At first, you might not know how to finish the job, but by jumping in and working it out, you learn new things and feel better about your skills. Musashi would tell you not to run away from a task, but to face it head-on and use all the tools you have. The way you do things here is related to what Musashi taught about not being bound by any one way. When you face a problem, be willing to try new things. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, and having a growth attitude means being able to change and be creative. Musashi had to constantly change to new situations and challenges because he was a ronin, or masterless samurai. This shows how important it is to take on tasks with an open mind. So, accepting obstacles means seeing them as important parts of your path to success and growth. You have to be ready to go into the unknown and believe in your own ability to learn and change. When you face problems head-on, like Musashi did, you build strength, courage, and the ability to go beyond what you think you can do. Step 2. Learn from criticism. Life will always have criticism, whether it's helpful or hurtful. How you handle it can either slow down or speed up your growth. The second step to having a growth attitude is to learn from feedback. It takes being humble, knowing yourself, and wanting to keep getting better. Throughout his life, Miyamoto Musashi showed how important it is to learn from mistakes. He knew that feedback, even when it hurts, is a good way to learn about yourself and improve. Musashi's response to criticism came from his view that all experiences, good and bad, teach us something. It wasn't something he tried to avoid, but he also didn't let it define him. He instead used it as a mirror to look at his actions, choices, and way of thinking. Musashi talks about how important it is to think about yourself and know your skills and flaws. Being self-aware is very important when dealing with feedback. When someone criticizes you, it's easy to shut them down or get angry. A growth attitude, on the other hand, tells you to pay close attention and think about the input without bias. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this feedback to get better? This way of thinking turns criticism into a chance to grow instead of something that makes you feel bad. For example, if a coworker points out a mistake in your work, don't get angry or down about it. Instead, take a step back and think about what they said. Though the feedback might be tough, there may be some truth in it that can help you get better. Musashi would tell you that the only way to truly master something is to keep improving it. and feedback is a way to do that. Not everything in Musashi's life went as planned. This did not, however, make him who he was. Instead, he looked at his mistakes and the comments he got and used that information to make his plan and method better. A growth mindset is marked by a constant drive to improve oneself and an openness to learning from feedback. Musashi thought it was important to keep an open mind. He said that getting too attached to your own point of view can make it impossible to see how other people see things. Being open to feedback helps you see things from different points of view, which can help you come up with new ideas and grow as a person. So, accepting comments as a way to get better is what it means to learn from it. Being humble, knowing yourself, and wanting to grow are all things you need. Criticism can be a strong tool for personal and professional growth if you look at it through the lens of a growth attitude, like Musashi did. Step 3. Cultivate curiosity. A growth attitude is based on being interested in new things. It's the drive to find out more about the world and learn more about it. The third step in building a growth mindset is to become more curious. It means keeping an open mind, asking questions, and looking for new things to do. Miyamoto Musashi was always curious and looked for new things to learn. He showed this in every part of his life. Musashi was interested in more than just the fight. He was very good with a sword, but he was also interested in other things. He studied many things, such as art, philosophy, and writing. This wide-ranging interest helped him learn more about the world and master it. Musashi's life shows us that to really have a growth attitude, we need to be able to learn new things and go beyond what we already know. To become more curious, you need to start by asking what is already known. A growth attitude tells you to ask why and how things work instead of just taking them as they are. This curious way of thinking helps people understand things better and finds new ways for them to grow. Take working on a project as an example. Don't just think about finishing it. Think, what can I learn from this? How can I approach this differently? What other methods or ideas could be applied here? Musashi was also willing to question what most people thought because he was curious. He didn't just believe what other people taught him. He tried to try and improve them through his own life. This helped him create his own style of swordsmanship, which is now known as Naiten Ichi-ryu, and stresses using both swords at the same time. Being open to new ideas and questions was important to Musashi's success, and it's also an important part of having a growth attitude. Developing your own curiosity can help you come up with new ideas and be more creative. It forces you to leave your safe zone and look into what else is out there. Curiosity keeps your mind busy and interested, whether you're learning a new skill, reading about a different subject, or just asking more questions in your daily life. This never-ending search for information helps you deal with new problems and stay ahead in a world that changes quickly. Also, being curious makes you stronger. When you're interested, mistakes and failures are not seen as dead ends, but as chances to learn. After failing, you're more likely to try new things, take chances, and give it another shot. Musashi was very strong, and he always tried to get better and change, even when things went wrong in fight or in life. Keeping a lifelong desire to learn and explore is what it means to cultivate curiosity. It takes having an open mind, being ready to ask, and wanting to learn more and get better at what you do. You can create a growth attitude that will help you move forward in all parts of your life by being curious like Musashi. Step 4. Focus on effort, not just results. It's easy to get stuck on results in a world that often puts them first. A growth attitude, on the other hand, says that work is more important than results. This is the fourth thing you need to do to have a growth attitude. It means realizing that the way you work toward a goal is just as important, if not more important, than the goal itself. Miyamoto Musashi, who was skilled with both sword and mind, knew how important it was to work hard and stay committed. Musashi's life showed how hard work can pay off. He didn't become master overnight. One of the best swordsmen in history, he became that way through years of hard work, discipline, and determination. We can learn from Musashi's journey that loyalty to the process, not just the end result, is the key to happiness and growth. You can change your attitude from one of fixed views, where intelligence or ability are seen as stable, to one of growth views, where these traits can be improved through hard work. This change gives us power. This means that you can get better and succeed if you are willing to put in the work, no matter where you start. If you want to learn something new, like how to play an instrument or get good at a sport, a growth mindset tells you to focus on the practice and work you do every day, instead of just the end result or performance. Musashi would tell you that every hour you spend training and every little thing you do better makes you stronger and more skilled generally. Focusing on effort makes you stronger because it teaches you to value the process as well as the end goal. Musashi also thought that following rules and being consistent were important. He knew that the only way to become a master is to exercise steadily and consistently over time, not in short bursts. You can use this idea in any part of your life. Long-term success depends on how hard you work at something over and over again, whether it's a job, a business, or your health. Putting the attention on work can help you find your own drive. Being proud of the work you do and the time you put in makes you less reliant on praise or benefits from other people. This inner drive is a strong force that keeps you going when things go wrong. Musashi's life was marked by this inner drive. He sought mastery not for fame or honor, but just for the sake of mastery. By putting effort over outcomes, you show that you value the process of growth and development. You have to be disciplined, consistent, and dedicated to the process. In your quest for success, adopting this way of thinking, like Musashi did, can help you become more resilient, motivated, and feel more fulfilled. Step 5. Believe in yourself. The fifth step to having a growth attitude is to believe in yourself. Building up your self-confidence and trust in your skills is an important part of it, even when things go wrong. Miyamoto Musashi, who went through a lot of hardships and fights, showed how powerful it is to believe in yourself. His unshakable faith in his abilities and judgment was a big part of how he succeeded and stayed alive. Musashi didn't believe in himself because he was cocky or because he had blind faith. He believed in himself because he knew how good he was and wanted to keep getting better. Self-doubt, he knew, could be crippling and cause people to hesitate and be afraid. To deal with this, Musashi trained hard, getting so good at what he did that he didn't have to question his skills. He was sure of himself, so he could meet any opponent or task with ease. Realizing your skills and knowing you can grow and get better are both parts of believing in yourself. It's about realizing that your skills aren't set in stone and can be improved with work and practice. This way of thinking gives you power because it changes your attention from what you can't do to what you can do with hard work and time. When you believe in yourself, you are more likely to take on a tough job or goal because you know you can succeed. A growth attitude tells you that you can learn, change, and get past any problems, even if the road ahead is unclear. Musashi would tell you to have faith in your training and planning, because they are sure that they will get you through it. Having self-belief also means getting over your fear of failing. Musashi knew that being afraid could make it hard to think clearly and make mistakes. When you believe in yourself, fear has less of an effect on you, which lets you act with clarity and accuracy. In high-stress situations, where hesitating can mean the difference between success and failure, this trust is very important. Having self-belief means being strong. It's about getting back up after failing or having a loss with the belief that you will do better next time. Even though Musashi faced many problems and lost many battles, he never lost faith in himself. He saw every failure as a chance to learn and grow, which made him even more sure that he could handle any problem. So, trusting in yourself means having faith in your own skills and abilities. You need to know your skills well, be dedicated to always getting better, and be strong enough to face problems head-on. You can get the faith and drive you need to reach your goals and become a master of your craft by adopting this way of thinking, just like Musashi did. Step 6. Reflect and adapt. The last steps in building a growth attitude are to reflect and change. They involve checking in on your work often, learning from your mistakes, and making changes as needed. As a master of strategy and self-awareness, Miyamoto Musashi knew how important it was to think about things and change them in order to become masterful. His lessons stress how important it is to always think about things and be ready to change direction when needed. Making improvements to oneself was a constant theme in Musashi's life. He thought that to be truly masterful, one needed to be skilled and disciplined, but also able to think about what they did and change based on new situations. Musashi writes in the Book of 5 Rings about how important it is to understand the rhythm of a situation and be able to change your plan to fit it. One important part of a growth attitude is being able to change and adapt. When you reflect, you look back at your events and think about what went well and what could have been better. It means thinking about what went well, what didn't, and what you can learn from the event. This process of evaluating yourself helps you understand your skills and flaws, which then lets you choose the best way to move forward. Musashi said that to learn and get better, you should think about what you did after every fight, whether it was real or imagined. Take the time to think about the trip you took to finish a job or reach a goal, for example. What were some of the problems you had? How did you get past them? How could you have done it better? This reflection helps you see how you've grown and find places where you can improve even more. Instead of seeing this as a test of your skills, a growth mindset tells you to see it as a chance to learn and grow. The next step after evaluation is making changes. It's about using the new ideas you get from thinking about things to guide your behaviors in the future. Musashi's life showed how important it is to be able to change. Based on what he had learned, he was always improving his methods, tactics, and even his mindset. He stayed ahead of his opponents and kept improving as a fighter and thinker because he was willing to change. Adaptation in your life could mean trying a new way to solve a problem, changing your goals, or changing how you approach a problem based on new knowledge. It's about being open to new ideas and not being set in stone on a plan that might not work anymore. Musashi would advise you that the way to success is not a straight line, but a trip where you learn and change all the time. Ultimately, thinking about things and changing them are important parts of a growth attitude. They include checking in on your progress often, learning from your mistakes, and being ready to change direction when needed. You can keep learning and getting better at everything in your life by following these steps, just like Musashi did.